I'm Maggie.
I'm Nicole. Welcome to the DAC Dyslexia and Coffee podcast. We're so happy you could join us. We're both moms and dyslexia interventionists who want to talk about our students and children. What dyslexia is, how it affects our kids, strategies to help, and topics related to other learning disabilities will also be covered in this podcast. Parents are not alone, and we want to give voice to the concerns and struggles we are all having. This is a safe place to learn more about how to help our children grow and succeed in school and the world. Grab a cup of coffee and enjoy the conversation.
Hi, everybody. So it is time for the concept of the week. Concept of the week is our opportunity as practitioners to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and let everybody into an intervention session. So this is the part of the podcast that we like to talk about what are we teaching our students. So today's concept of the week is strategy. So the word strategy gets thrown around, I think, a lot. And I think it's really worth a definition. So a strategy is a technique or a plan of action used to accomplish a goal. Within executive functioning, right? So what we've been talking about all summer long, these are the tools used to improve planning, organization, time management, and other cognitive skills that are essential for meeting our goals. These strategies can be applied in all kinds of settings, right? So school, home, at work, and it enhances our overall effectiveness and how much we're able to get done. We also talk about strategies in structured literacy instruction. So when we're talking about strategies in that context, it's talking about the ways we use to figure things out. For example, if a student comes to a word they cannot read or spell, our first question is, okay, what strategy are you going to use to figure this out? We have taught them tools. We have taught them to segment out that word and blend it back together. We have taught them to look for prefix or suffix first. So we have taught them all these strategies for figuring out a word for reading or for spelling. And we want to always use that word in intervention when we're talking to them, because we want to reinforce that's really that tool you're going to use. So we might say like a strategy is kind of like a tool that we can use.
So welcome to episode 48, which is our summer series wrap up.
I can't believe
it. No way. So it's our 8th and final episode of the summer series on executive functioning. So far this summer, we've discussed family expectations, goal setting, emotional identification, and coping skills. We've discussed flexibility, rigidity, being stuck. And last week, we talked about why we need to be flexible. And this week, we're talking about goals.
And how to get what we need. Yeah. Last week, we talked about the application of that goal, why, plan, do, check.
Yes.
We talked about kind of activities that you can use at home to really apply.
Correct.
That.
And we talked about what might get in the way of reaching our goals, either a flaw in our plan or a distractor.
Yeah. This week, we want to introduce Plan B strategies for reaching our goal. So this way, we want to talk about, okay, what are the tools that we can use when we get bumps in the road? First, ask for help. Second, come up with a compromise. Or third, resist a distractor.
So strategy 1 is asking for help. Asking for help can be difficult for some of our kids, right? It's important to reinforce that we all need help sometimes. Believe me, I say that a lot in our house.
Oh, yes.
And it's a great Plan B strategy for reaching a goal.
Absolutely. I really struggle with this one. My family will make fun of me to no end. Like, I have to be reminded it's okay to ask for help.
Right.
In fact, it is often the best strategy to get your needs filled, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is practice what you preach.
Yeah, this one actually, for me, until I needed to ask for help, it was really hard for me to do it.
It is.
And it's still a struggle, but because of, so for our listeners, I had a hip replacement 2 years ago. And when I had to ask for help with my sex, that was just, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I had to do it because I couldn't bend over.
Exactly.
It doesn't feel great, but you know what? Everybody wanted to help because they wanted it to go well.
And I think that's the thing. It's like, really, once you just ask for help and you get what you need, you know, I have had to learn this lesson many, many times in the course of my life. You know, and every time I do, it does feel like a brand new revelation to me. Actually, people do want to help. And when you ask for that help, you get what you need.
Correct.
So a really good activity for demonstrating this strategy is a little bit of a role play.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
And you can kind of let your kids in on it or not. I've done it both ways. I've actually done this activity in a classroom setting, and I've done something similar at home. But you're going to kind of role play carrying like a large box or something kind of heavy that will definitely be a struggle for you to carry. Ideally, this is like a box with a lot of little things in it, like games or toys, or back in the day I would do this with like CDs.
Remember those?
Remember that? You know, you will act like this is a big challenge, and you might even drop a few items. And you're gonna call attention to yourself. You're gonna look like a fool. And you might even want to have a pause. You know, you could talk about the goal is to move these items from one side of the room to the other. Maybe this is a box of things that needs to go to Goodwill, so it needs to go to the car. You know, maybe these are things that we picked around from other places in the house.
That never happens.
No. Oh, somebody else's house.
Maybe.
Somebody else's house. Nope, my house all the time.
All the time.
You know, maybe this are things that need to go get put away.
Yes.
Right? Make it really clear that like your plan A was to try to move all these items by yourself, and guess what? That did not work. That did not work. So plan B is to ask for help and practice role playing that with your kids. You know, can you please help me pick up these 3 things and put them away? Or could you take this end of the box and I'll take the other end of the box? You really want to be explicit with the kind of help you're asking for.
Right.
Could you open the door for me? I'm carrying something heavy. Can you open the door?
Could you please hold the dog back so that they don't trip you as I'm walking to the door?
Yeah. Or run away.
Oh, yeah, that happens too.
All the things.
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 Yes.
You know, definitely. I mean, you don't even have to like make up these scenarios. Think about bringing in groceries from the car.
Yeah, it's in everyday life.
It's right. These are things that happen, you know, every day. And it's just talking out loud that, you know, I really can't get this all done by myself as much as I would want to. I am the person with all the grocery bags, right? Like, I will only take one trip. How many, you know, bottles of milk have to fall and break on the driveway for me to really learn like that it actually is not a good plan.
No.
Just have the person help you. This is ridiculous. But really talking with your kids about, were there other options? Right? Could you have carried these items one at a time? Why would that be or not be a good option here?
Correct.
Are you going to carry this whole thing like one item at a time? It's going to take you an hour and a half. And really be explicit about that. Sure. Could you probably get it done yourself? You probably could.
Yes.
Is that the best, most efficient way of doing it? Probably not.
Correct.
And then have them apply that in their own life, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is definitely the pot calling the kettle black here.
Strategy number 2 is to compromise. So you can practice with the idea of compromise as a strategy with our kids, also with using the role playing.
Yeah, it's really such a good way to experience things. You can kind of give out some either made up scenarios or things that really are happening in your home. You do not want to start this one at a place where we are already needing to come up with a compromise.
Correct.
Yes, you can coach your kids through this situation, but when we're doing teaching, no, when they're already at each other's throats is not the time to try to teach them anything. That's not it.
Yeah, and just like our son is in speech therapy, they're doing these scenarios right now.
Yes.
Social interaction scenarios, because it's a safe environment for them to practice.
Exactly.
And sometimes the conversation gets very interesting.
It sure does. It is amazing what your kids come up with that will really impress you, and the things that you're like, oh, we definitely have to do some teaching here. Interesting idea. Some possible things you can talk about, right? 2 friends want to have fun at recess. One friend wants to play soccer and the other one wants to play basketball.
So have your kids think about ways these 2 friends could compromise for that situation, right?
Yeah. And you can kind of review, right? We talked about there are 3 different ways to compromise. 1, combine ideas. 2, pick something new. Or 3, take turns.
Yeah.
So, these 2 friends, maybe they find some silly game where a soccer ball and a basketball is involved. Kids love doing that. It's silly and fun and creative, and they could really pull it off. Kids are adaptable and really fun like that. They could pick a different activity altogether. Okay.
Let's do dodgeball.
Let's play on the slide. Or maybe they can take turns. Okay, we'll play soccer for one half of recess. We'll play basketball for the other half of recess. Or we'll play soccer at lunch recess, and at afternoon recess, we'll play basketball.
Yeah.
Those are definite ways that they could compromise and solve their issue.
Correct.
If you do have more than one child in your home, you can really put this into practice actually in real life. You can have your kids pick out a treat for after dinner, pick the activity we like to do on the weekend, or maybe what a movie they want to watch on movie night. Pick something that is going to cause some kind of need for compromise, but not something that's going to blow up your whole day, right? I mean, you know your kids, but really the way to move past us having a blow up over every little decision we have to make is giving them practice with this.
Correct.
Allowing them to work it out amongst themselves is the only way we teach this skill.
Correct.
It's the only way that gets actually solidified. And I do have the research to back me up here. It doesn't mean I have to like it. That it really is. right? So like, how could they compromise? Can they combine their ideas?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can we have cupcakes and ice cream? Ooh, not in my house. No. Mommy can. Could they pick out something new? Or could they take turns picking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just don't let my husband pick our movie nights.
Yeah, he picked that terrible movie about the dog who dies, right?
Yeah.
No,
Mm-hmm.
Chris is out.
Yeah, he's banned now,
Yeah.
and that is a compromise from the rest of us.
No, he's done. He's done.
When he makes the entire family cry for hours.
Nope, you're done. You get one chance with that, dude. Nope. You're out.
My goodness,
you're out. No, So funny. Compromise is so hard.
It is hard.
It is really hard. And to kind of reinforce that idea is to use that feelings chain.
Oh, yes.
And you can have your kids think about solving a problem using a compromise. This could be something real that happened to them, or it could be something from a book or a movie. There, books and movies and TV shows
all have
really good.
Great examples.
They have great examples of them.
Right.
And you can do this even while you're reading a book or watching a show or a movie. That's what makes those like family showtime or family movie time where we're actually all watching the same thing and it has a beginning, middle, or an end. It actually really is good and healthy. And it's a great way to talk about executive functioning skills. So you can kind of think about either characters that had to make a compromise or something really that has happened to them. You talk about the event. What happened? What was the situation? Two friends wanted to play two different things at recess. Okay. What was the feeling that created? And this first time you're like, I'm putting myself in Johnny's shoes. What was Johnny feeling? And then you take a pause, right? Because often it's like sad or mad or frustrated. Right. Okay, what's the action then? So what was the compromise? And then how are the other people feeling in the situation? What was the consequence, right? And consequences could either be positive or negative, right? Consequence is just simply what happened.
Correct.
Either we solved it or we didn't. And then back to that, how am I feeling now?
And if this goes back to that emotional identification.
Yes.
How am I feeling? Do I need to do something to make myself back into the calm area?
Because really, this could keep going still in a circle and be like, take another pause.
Correct.
Come up with a different plan. I mean, this doesn't have to, we're talking about a feelings chain, and it's often laid out like it is a chain. But again, just like plan wide, plan to check, right? The chink in the chain. Oh my gosh, like the Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Just the family. There's you. Oh my gosh, so funny. But often this is laid out like a chain, but really, it's not. Really, this is also cyclical. It's really a circle. So I do like talking about that language and pairing it to the feelings and thinking about how do I feel? How do other people feel?
Correct.
What is the best course of action? How do we get this done in a way that is going to serve the most people that it can?
Yes.
Maybe not always everybody, but
correct.
The way to make this home as peaceful as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
And the strategy number 3 is resisting a distractor.
Yes.
That is hard.
So hard.
So hard. We really make goals all day long. And sometimes things come along that distract us from those goals. This is natural and part of life. So we have to get good at coming up with a plan B to resist the distractions. Like turning off your email or clicking out of your email while you're doing a podcast.
Yes.
So you don't get distracted and start typing in the middle of your podcast, which is a bad thing to do.
Which is a bad thing to do and not polite to our listeners.
And it's a good example, though, of how it could happen, right?
Definitely. I mean, all day.
Right? I mean, it's a never ending.
It really is.
It's never ending.
Really true. For our kids, kind of that you really want to get a good grade on your math test tomorrow. Your plan is to study as soon as you come home from school. But then your friend asks if they can come over and finish the video game that you guys started over the weekend. It's your favorite video game, and you know you can win.
That's a good distractor.
It is a good distractor. You can talk about it with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the ways that they can keep focus on their target goal, but still get to play their video game?
Mm-hmm. First, ask, are both things important to you? That's, when you're thinking about goals and some people might, I cannot play video games very well. So usually if that's an option.
Right, I'll be like, peace out, I'm good.
That's okay. I can go do something else.
Yeah. But if this is a kid who loves video games, they're probably going to say, yeah, they're both important to me.
Correct. And then which is most important or more important to you?
Mm-hmm.
And then could you compromise? We're back to that compromise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you play the video game for 30 minutes and still study? Could you study for an hour and then call your friend over? Or could you get your friend to come over a different day?
Exactly. So, you're kind of like resisting that distractor and calling in the strategy of compromise.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Some really good language to use at home to reinforce that plan B strategies. If you're talking about asking for help, do you need help? Sometimes our kids need that prompt. And if I'm being honest, I do too. Do you need help?
I do too.
Yep. This isn't working. Should we ask for help?
Or who should we ask for help too?
Yes.
Sometimes, depending on the situation, you might ask somebody different than a different situation.
Yeah. This weekend we were trying to move some kind of heavy furniture around, and we did have plenty of people, but it was like the room was not set up very nice. It was a lot of okay, this person has to move this part here. This, a lot of in the moment, and we all had to ask each other for help, and it was, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Compromise. What if our plan B is to compromise? How would the compromise help keep us on target?
Yeah. I like that a lot. How would this compromise keep us on target? Because it reinforces the idea of compromise and being on target.
Correct.
So you're really covering
both.
And making that just part of your family's language will really serve your kids well in adulthood.
Correct.
Which is the point of raising the children. I hope. I'm not there yet, but man, I hope that's the point. Yeah. In terms of resisting a distractor, like a phone call.
I just did. I promise.
Can we include this distractor in our plan?
Yep.
What about reaching our goal first and then be distracted after?
Yes. And if it seems like we're moving away from our target goal, how can we get back on track?
Yes.
Because even though I have my phone on silent, I do not know how to put my computer on silent. So that was my bad. So I did try to make my distractors smaller, but obviously it didn't work because, I'm going to have to Google that.
See, and now we get to teach about it. So
yes, it's fine. Yeah.
And I do like
and that's who I'm going to ask for help. Because that's who knows my computer more than I do.
Dear Google. Yeah. In my head, that is what I'm saying when I Google something too. Like, dear Google,
help me.
Please
help me figure this technology out.
Help.
Please help. Are we sure we can't go back to?
Yeah, I know. No, I don't think we're going back.
No, we're not going back. But
but I do really like that kind of moving away from our target goal. How can we get back on track? It's really not judgmental language. It's really talking about. Seems like we're really kind of not on track right now. How do we get back on track?
Right.
It also poses the question as if it is possible.
Correct.
How do we get back on track? Really kind of implies we are going to get back on track.
Yeah, it's more the positive way of talking, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. Than the negative.
Which it really, really matters when we're framing things to our kids especially.
Yes.
I do find when I do use this kind of language, my kids respond usually pretty well. Especially because we are very consistent about that at our house. It is something that we really do value and understand why it works. And it's been a great tool for us at home. Wow, and that's it for our summer series.
Wow, that's amazing. And I can't believe the summer is almost gone.
I am.
So, outside of dyslexia, I have to admit, this past weekend, we had to go school shopping.
Oh, no.
We got our school supplies. Because the list came out.
I'm
and I told the principal, I'm like, really? He's like, well, all the supplies are actually out. And sure enough, they were all out. So we were like, well, we better go get them before they disappear. Because sometimes you go in there and it's all gone.
I am so not ready for it to be back to school time.
Me neither.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not ready for that.
Considering it's going to be 106 degrees tomorrow. Yeah, not ready for that.
Yeah, I'm not ready for the 106 degrees. I am generally really fine with warmer and even hot temperatures.
I am too.
I'm okay with that. 106, no thank you. And we will add 106 and very humid.
Correct. There's a lot of moisture in the air.
Our air will be you could feel it.
Yeah.
So no thank you to that. And then just not being able to breathe. It makes me worry about our population. We have a lot of people in our lives that struggle to breathe in this kind of weather. It makes me worry about them. So it is definitely on our minds, this tropical heat wave that we are having, but it's supposed to be pretty short-lived. We're supposed to go camping this weekend, so I'm really hoping.
Oh, good luck.
Really hoping.
According to our favorite weather person, it is going to stick for a little bit. So.
Not interested in tropical camping weather. What is good news, though, is it is actually, so it is friends of ours that have a really beautiful property.
Okay.
And they have 2 kids that are kind of that neurodiverse population. And they love to camp and be out in the woods, but their kids, it's hard to do.
It is hard to do
when you've got all that stuff. So they host a camp out every year in their yard. Aww. And so it's a bunch of friends, and we set up our tents, and we do have a campfire, and she runs camp activities.
Aww.
She did, oh my gosh, I don't know, she did like a weaving project last year. This year, my husband is building birdhouses with the kids. So he's got them all pre-cut and pre-drilled,
like
and they're going to put them together. It is like the most fun weekend, and it is so low stakes. Last year, some families came to hang out, and then they didn't sleep there. So if it's real hot, that might also be the Gunther family plan. We'll do all the fun things, and then we might just
go back to the air conditioning.
Head home for the night time.
Yes.
But it is really fun. We're really looking forward to it, and we will be very disappointed if it can't happen for some reason. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Please follow us on social media. And please reach out if you have any questions or would like us to discuss a topic. We actually are getting some comments, and yay, thank you.
Yes.
We want to know. And if you do like our show, please be sure to rate us on your favorite podcast player. That is how we reach more listeners and get to help more families. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.